it's hard to understand that calories are not a focus when you're trying to lose weight, because we've lived years and years and years of being told that it's a calorie deficit that you need in order to lose weight. Today we want to talk about why we don't focus on calories, that we talk about carbs. Hello, Wellness Warriors. Welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, Pat Chat Edition. I'm Violet.
And I'm Pat. So how many times have you guys been told by your nutritionist, your doctor, that you need a calorie deficit to lose weight? So for example, on a 2,000 calories daily.
Who eats 2,000 calories when they're not on a diet?
I don't know.
Okay, but I'm just pointing that out. Okay.
But that you need to bring it to 1,500. Actually, have you tried to do that kind of diet, a calorie restrictive?
Years ago, when I was a young person. So I was a normal weight, and then in that period of time that I was a normal weight, for some reason I felt like I wasn't a normal weight. So I tried to lose a little bit of. I know it doesn't make sense, and then, but then like life went on, and I put that idea down. And then I got pregnant, and then 6 years later, I gained weight. So, but it's funny. But I mean, I have lived that scenario of trying to like eat fewer calories at least once in my life, and it was not a fun experience.
Like even if you have apps that like you're tracking your food, I know I don't remember which one I was using, but like I had a calorie budget, and basically you create a deficit by either or both of them, like eating less and more exercise. So I was all happy, like, today I had a 750 calories deficit during my day. So none of that matter, actually.
Yeah.
In truth.
For me, what it was more like the first few times I tried to lose weight, although I was tracking my food, it wasn't like I was trying to be in the calorie deficit as much as I was trying to eat healthier.
Oh, okay.
So like theoretically though, it looked like a deficit because I wasn't eating all the cookies, chips, like right.
Okay.
So like it looked good, but in the end, did I lose any weight? Zero.
No, yeah.
Like zero, right? Yeah. So, and the one occasion that I did lose, that's not even true. I did lose once. So back after my daughter was born, and then I did track my foods, and I took all the junk food out. I did lose. So I shouldn't say zero. Yeah. That's not true. But like, did it last? It didn't last. So the funny part was that I lost, and of course that typical 6 months hits, and then I started to go up again, even though I still wasn't eating the junk, which is then of course what happens. Yeah. Well, why am I not eating junk if my weight is still going up? And then it all goes to pot, right?
The problem with that actually is that if you rely on you moving more, problem is like, when you stop moving, you're gonna like regain the weight. That was my case.
But did you stop moving only after a year or 2 years, or did you stop moving before the 6 months?
Oh no, like usually my get all motivated to go to the gym and do spinning classes, and
How
then
long
you
would it
have it's 6 months. Like you have something happening at work, you have a rush,
so you actually made it 6 months and then stopped, or you stopped before the 6 months?
I think like the first time I did lose a good amount of weight, I was moving way like it was a move more scenario. I was doing spinning classes. Lasted 6 months. I remember when I was in early university, also like I took a gym membership, and it lasted 6 months. As soon as like there was something at work, can go to the gym. Like So I had never been really like or
you never made it past 6 months. You're trying.
Yeah.
Not once.
6 months. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I've gone to the gym for more than a year. My gym membership, I did do. Okay. I actually was at the Y, and I was going to the Y for years. Again, how much weight did I lose from that? Nothing. But I was going to the Y.
Yeah, sorry. Like this is the first time since I've been doing low carb keto or changed my lifestyle that I've maintained my membership more than 6 months. I do miss the gym right now. So it took a change in diet like for me to be able to keep going. And
so like one of the things that I think, and I know like looking at myself, like even when I went for that year, more than a year, I was going to the Y for years with an S. Okay. Didn't lose any weight, but I felt more flexy though. I definitely felt good in myself.
But you're not at your ideal weight when you were doing that, you feel like?
So what's interesting is, again, this is where like that whole thing with women where
Oh.
It's like where you are versus where you want to be, and what, like, how you want to look in your clothes and whatever. But I think, like, I definitely felt good going to the gym when I did go for that period of time where I was, and again, it was more than a year, because I remember going after university and going, and so it was a nice period of time. But just going back to this whole calorie deficit thing, because you would think for how much I was going to the gym, how little I was eating at that period of time, because I was in school. So, like, student, didn't have a lot of time to actually, and yet still my weight was just stable.
Okay.
Just like stable compared to. So how come I didn't, that's a good question. How come I didn't just blow up after I stopped going to the gym? That's weird. No, like, actually,
I
now
know I did blow up at some point, because I was like, when I was in high school.
I blew up after my daughter.
After your
like,
daughter?
she was
Okay.
6 by the time that happened. But okay, no, you know what? That's probably why I'm not thinking straight. The inflammation.
Oh.
The inflammation was happening, because I remember I was sore. Like, so, like, when I stopped going to the gym, my knees, you know what? Wow. I never even put that together till just this moment. When I stopped going to the gym, because I was in my 20s when I was doing that, I was at university. But all that time after, my knees were like sore. Like, remember I told you my knees and elbow things started happening in my mid-20s.
I think my big first blow up, like in weight, was after university, like when I had my first job. So at university, I feel I was like relatively active. I had like gym classes. I was playing badminton too. But with my first job, like, oh, you have money, go more to restaurants. So I think on top of being less active, my diet was like less. I can't say it was probably good in university, but it was even worse. Like after, when I started working, was more in the restaurant. It was like pasta, Italian bread, and like
my diet was horrific when I was in school. It was horrific. I think my diet was better after I finished school.
Okay.
Because when I was in school, like, so not elementary or high school, because then, like, so like when parents were no longer controlling my food, so like from CEGEP and university, my diet was not, I wouldn't even say bad, it was horrific. Like, chocolate, the amount of chocolate I was eating during those years,
Are you feeding on chocolate?
horrific. Like, again, it's like that I had inflammation, I think is not surprising.
For those people who don't know, like CEGEP is here. We have that in, especially I think in Quebec, in Canada. It's like a little passage between high school and university.
Yeah. So look, I had a horrible diet, and I think my diet got better when I started work, because then I actually had funds to buy like real meals. Like, so I mean, not to say that I didn't have money. You see, that's the funny thing, is that I did have money, because of course my parents gave me money, but did I spend it on the right things? Versus when you're in the work world and you're going out to eat lunch, like, you're not buying junk, right? You're with other adults, so you're buying like real food. And I feel like that's when I started to have real food at lunchtime. That I spent a lot of money there too, but
so let's say that probably most 80% of us like have gone through those loops of high and lows and yo-yo dieting. Why calorie don't matter then?
So if you look at what was actually happening, when I was in university in CEGEP, I was eating cookies and chips and maybe hot dogs sometimes, and like, but poutine and all this craziness, which high calorie, yes, high carb. Then I went to eating meals. So go to a restaurant and ordering meals, which was some kind of meat, some kind of side dish. Less high in calorie, but still high in carb. I didn't lose any weight. So you think that eating those proper meals, I should have lost weight during that period of time. I didn't lose any weight. As a matter of fact, when I was at the end of all of this, when I actually gained the most weight, which was when my daughter was like 6.5, or maybe even less than that. Maybe she was 5, between 5 and 9, right? I guess. When I gained the most weight, I was actually being at least conscious of like, okay, don't eat chocolate. Don't like, I was being conscious of like, okay, don't eat junk food, Violet. But I was still eating
active, like
meals, right?
Yeah, we were together like when your daughter was around like 7, 9. Okay, so but yeah.
But I mean, I had gained most of my weight like
a little bit
at
before.
that, like just up to that point. So like when I met you, I think I gained a bit more obviously after that. But like,
my point was we were active. at the same time. We were skiing, I remember we played badminton. So we were still moving and our weight was going up like crazy.
This is the thing that's so frustrating, is that I was always active. Like I've been a skier from the time that I could go skiing. I played badminton. Like I was always active, and yet the weight was just slowly mounting. And so, like, again, this whole idea of if you're in a calorie deficit, so the problem here is this, is that our body doesn't understand calories. So this man-made idea of what happens when you burn food doesn't translate to our body, because if I eat carbohydrates today, my body's going to put them away today. But the energy that I'm using to fuel my body is from stuff I ate a few days ago. So exercising doesn't stop my body from creating fat. But this is this idea that we have that somehow we can outsmart our body. You cannot outsmart your body. Like this machine that we live in was built to survive. And it's built to survive even if we're doing not so smart stuff, right? Like, I'll give you a different kind of example just because I want you to see how smart we are. You'll see young people walk in the street, cell phone in hand, scrolling, and just not get hit by the car. And they'll pull themselves back because our body and senses are so smart that it noticed the car was coming even though person was looking at their cell phone, right? We have senses that, like, so to think that I'm going to trick me into acting like the sugar that I'm eating isn't supposed to be turned into fat because I decided to run a few kilometers. No, my body's still going to turn it into fat because it has two options. Leave it in your blood to die, take it out of your blood and stay alive. Which one do you think your body's going to choose? Take it out of your blood, store it as fat so that you stay alive, right? And I feel like this is something that we don't think about. Of course we can't think about it because we don't know our body's doing this. It's so scary to think that we believe that somehow we can just make things happen that we can't make things happen, that we can't make happen, right? So that's the first thing, is that the calorie deficit that we're trying to accomplish, to say that we're going to somehow, so we only look at weight when we talk about this story. Can I point something else out? When you eat carbohydrates, they are actually damaging, because they're toxic, they are actually damaging to other parts of the body. So we're so focused on being skinny that we would eat a pile of pancakes and go exercise to stay skinny and ignore the fact that that pile of pancakes that we just ate and all that sugar that's in our body is going to cause inflammation and cause heart disease and cause heart disease and cause gout and cause all kind, damage the liver because there's high fructose corn syrup in that syrup that you put on. And we're just only looking at, but am I skinny? Oh, if I'm skinny, then it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay, guys. It's not okay. Please, we need to stop doing this. It's not okay.
But the answer to that is, like, calorie in, calorie out doesn't work. You need to cut the carbs. You need to cut the sugar out of your diet.
The reason that we talk about carbohydrates is bigger than weight. And I say this so often, but I'm going to say it again. It's not about being thin. It's about being healthy. A healthy body regulates its weight. You cannot expect an unhealthy body to worry about regulating weight when it's trying to stay alive. So, are you going to keep poisoning yourself and then expect your body to be skinny? So that's really the question that we're asking, right? Is like, oh, I want to eat all this junk, but then my body is just going to focus on how many calories it was.
And what are we saying to viewers who are asking, they want to get to one meal a day, but at the same time feel like they should stuff themselves with the 2,000 calories in one meal? Because like we just said, it's not a matter of calories.
Which is why I'm confused of why we're talking about calories anyways. Like, but I feel like if you, first of all, why do we want to get to one meal a day? That's the first question. So if you would like to get to one meal a day because you're working on autophagy and apoptosis and you're trying to get your body to clean itself and to be healthier, then okay, great. But that's not about calories.
But let it at the same time, like what I want to say to that, let it happen naturally. Like don't we, I think we said in the past, but like don't make it a goal to get to one meal a day. Like do it when you're comfortable with it and when you're not hungry. If you're on the standard American diet or you have to like still eating too many carbs, like getting to one meal a day is not going to help you. You're just going to starve yourself. Right. Right.
So, like, I'm just what I was trying to say a few seconds ago
Yeah.
was that where do calories come into the story? One of the mistakes I think people make is that when you're trying to do your carb calculations, you're looking at that calorie counter. But we need to be careful about something because you're doing your carb calculations, and if you're looking at that calorie number, and you have an idea in your head that I can't go over X number. Well, now, where are you going to cut? So the mistake that I see people making is that I want to eat the vegetables. So what ends up getting cut is how much meat I'm allowing on my plate. I might be falling within this fictitious calorie number that I'm aiming at, but is my body getting the nutrients that it needs? Is my body getting a clean energy source? In that case, no, because I've left the calories from the carbs on my plate. I cut the fat and the protein. That's not healthy. If I want to get to one meal a day, and again, I don't know why you would want to get there unless you're trying to heal internal stuff, but let's say that's what you're trying to do. So if I would like to clean up internal stuff and I'm trying to get to one meal a day, paying attention to my carb count is what's going to help me, not the calorie count. And I'll explain why. If I'm eating less than 20 grams of carbs a day, every day, without fail, every day, no cheats, no exceptions, every day. The interesting thing that starts to happen is that you're not chasing food anymore. I'm guaranteeing every single person out there who's still chasing food, who's still sitting there thinking, oh, I might have supper. If you're still doing that, it's because you are eating more than 20 grams of carbs a day. And it's hard to accept that piece of information. But I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this and you still find yourself chasing food, weigh your food, measure everything, in which you're going to figure out is that, yep, you were going over. So if all I would like to do is get to one meal a day, eat 20 grams of carbs or less, and only 20 grams of carbs less in your day. So when you wake up in the morning, not hungry, and you eat when hungry, that meal is going to start being pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed until finally it's not going to make sense to have 2 or 3 meals anymore. You're going to get down to 2, you're going to get down to 1.
For we've been to there for all the wellness warriors that are new to keto that are gonna go to their page app, like the keto macro calculator. Like in the end, the calorie number whenever you put your height, your level of active, and like the number of calories that are there, like you don't pay any real attention to it. Just like keep your carbs low, eat to satiation, and just like go from there, basically.
And measure every single thing you eat. That's the mistake that most people are making. They are not measuring, so they're not counting everything. And I mean everything. If I eat 1 nut, I log it. One, I log it. Are you logging every single thing you eat? And if I'm not going to log it, I won't eat it. So you need to take a decision, because that 1 nut, that 1 French fry, that 1 cookie, that one, like all of those things over the course of a day add up. It's hard. It really is, because I think that we want to do well, but at the same time, we want it to be easy. Sometimes the answer isn't easy, right? And calories it sounds easy, right? Oh, I just need to hit this. Our body is not that simple. There's some videos on the screen right here that are going to help you to improve your health. Wellness Warriors, always so happy that you guys come back, and everybody who's new, welcome.
And if you like the video, please like and do subscribe.
I want to thank you for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, Pat Chat Edition. Can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
Talk to you next week.